Welcome back to another episode of Buzzworthy Businesses. I'm Steve Strum. Today, I have an awesome opportunity to interview Toni Buchanan from Life by Design Coaching Network. John, tell us a little bit about our guest, sir.
Thank you for having me, Steve. And Toni, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me on today.
So we talked to you a little bit before the show started, just about the difference between coaching and the difference between therapists, because you're not just a normal life coach. You deal in a very, very specific and real thing that we're facing today, especially after something like COVID. Tell us a little bit more about what exactly you do.
Well, I am a trauma coach. I'm certified mental health and certified telehealth. So most of my services are via phone or internet. We provide services, sessions for our clients, whether it be group sessions, individual or couples. Anybody who's experienced PTSD or any form of trauma, whether it's sexual abuse, coming out of the military, or maybe you just had a car accident or a bad experience. We will walk you through multiple sessions and provide resources as well to help you not just to cope, but actually to manage and go from not being able to drive on the interstate, because it's people, let's be real, who cannot drive on the interstate. That's a very traumatic experience if they had a car accident, from the point of actually being able to drive onto the interstate without pulling over, having a panic attack. So we walk them through that. So different stages. We use books. We use breathing exercises. We use meditation. We use a lot of different instruments in our toolboxes to get you to a place of healing, if that makes sense.
So, Toni, one of the things that we were talking about, that John had mentioned before the filming started, was, this is a very real issue, right? You got a lot of things out there. Obviously COVID, interestingly enough, 5 years ago, don't know how that happened, but, trauma. When somebody has a trauma, whether it's a car accident, sexual abuse, come back from the military, people create this protection identity that was a version of themselves when all of that happened. Now, you had mentioned that you have 20 years of counseling and therapy under your belt, but now you're moving into this coaching. But you haven't given away the counseling and therapy. You still have counselors and therapists on your team. Why did you move from the therapy counseling universe into the coaching universe to help these people? Like, what was the inspiration for that, and why are you doing it?
For me, I think the company I was working with at the time, the modalities we were using, I was actually creating my own stuff when I was a therapist, because whatever they wanted me to use, it wasn't working for me. I kind of felt like I was in a assembly line at a factory. I would meet with them. They would see the coach, then they would see the psychiatrist, or whatever, and it was just like, give them the medication, have them come back again, yada yada. It just wasn't working. So I wanted to create a program more specific and work with therapists who I felt understood, what I wanted to do in Life by Design Coaching Network, and that was kind of the reason why. Not that I've kind of given up on therapy. I think therapy is very, very important. I think, but for me, I like seeing results. Let's be real. People could be in therapy for years and only getting a small amount of results. But when you have a therapist and a coach working together, that triples, the results that time. So that person's not, they can actually see results within little as 2 to 3 months, instead of 6 months to a year.
Well, and one of the things that, we could talk about this forever, I have teenagers that are COVID kids. My brother's in the Army. As we're taping this, we still have a natural disaster happening, on the West Coast in California. There are so many things that are now creating traumatic experiences. Those things have been around. But talk to us a little bit about what you've seen in the reduction of the stigma for people reaching out saying, you know what, I need somebody to talk to. I need some tools and resources so that I don't get triggered by a random person walking down the street that happened to have the same outfit on of a person that, gave me a sexually traumatic experience. What are some of the things you're seeing in the community when it comes to that stigma being reduced a little bit?
It has been reduced a little bit, and I think the onslaught of COVID and what we went through did decrease it. But let's be real, in the Black and the Hispanic community, it still is very taboo. That's why coaches are acceptable. Life coach, they'll talk to a coach because they see the word coach like the athletic, sports coach, someone who's there to talk to you, be a friend to you maybe. But it's very taboo, and people still have a hard time with the word therapist or psychologists or any of that. It's very hard. But I have noticed, especially with the millennials and the Gen Zs, the 20 and the 30-year-olds, they are changing the game because they are making it popular to have a therapist or a life coach to speak to. They're saying, hey, if you want to be successful, you want to change the game, my therapist told me to do X, Y, and Z. So I have noticed a lot of changes in the last 5 years.
John, as we take it away, what are your thoughts, bud?
Toni, just one last thing for people that's still out there and they need help. They know they need help, but like we just talked about the stigma. What's the best way they can get a handle on you or a hold of you?
My website, of course, is Life by Design Coaching Network.coach. 404-981-3065. That's the phone number to contact me directly. I answer the call. Life by Design Coaching Network. We will schedule a consultation with you. The 15-minute consultation is absolutely free. So if you decide you want to work with us, upon completing an assessment, we'll schedule you right away for an appointment, and we'll meet with you on your time. So we're flexible. We work on the holidays and some weekends, so all weekends. That's pretty much the process of getting in contact with them.
Well, what we'll do, Toni, thank you on all sincerity for all that work you're doing, because, as a family member who has, people that have gone through life, and the people watching this, that, life is lifing, right? So one of the things that we'll make sure to do is put your stuff on our website on thedailynewsnetwork.com so people can come check you out, see if they might be a good fit, discreetly do it to avoid some of that stigma in some of the groups you had mentioned. But as we leave this episode, really do want to say that a heartfelt thank you for what you're doing to try to help give those people tools and resources. We can't wipe away what happened, but giving them the ability to live the normal life without triggering episodes is really a good job of help that you're giving them, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
So, guys, therapy, it's not just a bad thing. It's helpful. I've been having a coach help me for years. John and I probably, have people come through here all the time talking about some fun stuff. This one, it might not be a fun stuff, but it's an important one. So please check out Toni's information on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com. If you like the episode, share it with someone you love that may need some help and doesn't know how to ask. And remember, guys, always live with gratitude.